Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's stop taking it to the stupid. Wilder versus Herndon. The result is going to shock fans. Let me tell you this. Sometimes in a loss ends up being a win. You look at Inoue the other day against Cardenas. Inoue lost. Inoue won that fight. The ref stopped it. Cardenas lost. But he really won because he had Inoue out on his feet. Wasn't able to finish him, but you better believe Cardenas, although he lost, he lives to go on and fight another day and get another really good payday. But we're talking about a guy like Wilder and Herndon. And since most people feel Herndon's going to lose, and you can understand why Wilder's a favorite, but I feel, now I'm not crazy, right? I understand Wilder being the favorite, but I also know I have to put things in perspective and come to the realization that the Wilder who fought up to Tyson Fury, that guy doesn't exist anymore. Okay? He doesn't exist. By his own admittance, he lost his killer instinct and it sounds like he got comfortable. How do you get somebody who's created a comfort zone for themselves and there's been a consistent pattern of their, I would say, a subpar performance in the boxing ring, to all of a sudden come back now, after all the ayahuasca, personal problems, professional problems, right? To come back now and feel, I'm back, I'm that guy, in particular Deontay Wilder, who was until this day wanted a body on his record. The guy right up to Tyson Fury. How do you think you can convince intelligent boxing fans that you have now turned back the hands of time and gone back to where you weren't so financially comfortable? Go back to where you were very comfortable in a relationship. Go back to where before all your personal business, at least from what's been shared, before all that was out there to the world, right? Where mentally you seem to be in a more healthier space. How do you try to convince us that you're that guy again? Now, when it comes to surgeries, you're healthy now, right? You've had the surgeries, you've repaired, you're no longer in pain. The old windmill Wilder, he's back windmilling. You're going to see that when he gets in the ring on June 27th against Herndon. Let me tell y'all something. I'm 49. I'll be 50. Okay? I've had, on this shoulder here, I've had rotator cuff surgery on this shoulder. I've had the bicep tendon reattached on the right arm. The left shoulder, I've never got it, the rotator cuff repaired and done nothing with my bicep tendon. My whole left shoulder is messed up, man. If you look at the MRIs, the doctor described it as violent tears from years of lifting weights, years of being active, years of boxing. I was very active when I was a young man. I have bone spurs off of my elbows. Okay, bone spurs. You can see how that shit poking out? Those are the bone spurs coming off my elbows. Those bone spurs are like a half an inch long, man. And I'm in pain every day. But I say all that to say this. My right shoulder, was it the same? Was I back bigger, stronger, more powerful than ever after I got that surgery? No. It's never the same. Is it better than when I had the pain? Yes. But was it back 100% like back when I was in my 20s? And actually, to tell you, I destroyed my shoulder in my 20s. Never did nothing about it. I just pushed through the pain because I didn't want to go deal with no bullshit. Finally had to get it done in my 40s. And by that time, they were just like, how did you go this long with that pain? So I understand that about Wilder, but I'm just saying, once you go and get that repaired, there ain't no such thing as coming back good as new. No. So when I hear Wilder saying all this, I'm just not convinced he's going to get in the ring with Herndon and turn back the hands of time. Is this a fight he can win? It's a fight Herndon can win. It's a fight Wilder can win. But for me to think Wilder's going to come in there and drop the one-hitter quitter like he did on Brazil, to come in there and drop something on Herndon like he did against Stavern, to come in there and at some point in the fight be able to line him up with the 1-2 and touch him up like he did Molina, like he did Gerald Washington, to think he's going to be there behind on the scorecards and be able to be calm, cool, and collective and just line Herndon up for the big right hand like he did against Luis Ortiz. I'm not convinced that's going to happen. Now, those of you are going to say, oh, that's because you know Tyrell Herndon's team, Hood. You flipping. No, I'm telling you right now. I'll be very candid and open with you. I always root for Deontay Wilder. But in this particular case, I do know, personally, the Tyrell Herndon team. I grew up with his promoter. So of course I'm rooting for him. But I would always say, hey, I'm rooting for him, but I don't think he's going to win. No, if I felt that way, I don't feel that way. I feel that he has a very good chance. Very good chance. Now, understand this. When I'm looking at Tyrell Herndon and Deontay Wilder, I have to say, as far as Wilder, he's not that guy anymore. He's not. This is where you have guys like a Tyrell Herndon who has life in him, who comes along and they clip the once big bad wolf. And then they go on to either win again or lose as they go on and take on another big name who just needs a dancing partner. There's a name that comes to mind, and I ain't talking about Mike Tyson and McBride and all that. That's an extreme case of shit. But I do think Wilder's kind of there. I think Wilder's kind of where Mike Tyson was in his career, where he didn't really enjoy it no more. He was just doing it for money. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to be doing this no more. I shouldn't be losing this kind of quality, this caliber of guys. Mike Tyson said all that. I think Wilder's in the same point where he's just trying to do it for money. His heart ain't in it. He's looking at the money in his name, and he's like, you know what? As long as I got this name, I'm going to go out here and get this money. But I don't think Wilder really has it in him anymore. He can win. He can if Wilder lands the right hand on anyone, because the power is the last thing to go, he can knock anybody out, okay? But he's not. He doesn't have the confidence to throw it. Even he said he's lost his confidence. You lost your confidence and somehow you're saying you got it back now? Man, I ain't believing that shit at all. Even if he wins the fight, I'm not going to be convinced, okay? But with Tyrell Herndon, I'm kind of seeing him a little bit like a Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin came and got a fight with Dillian White. And a fight, Eddie Hearn, they all expected Jermaine Franklin to just come in there and get knocked out. Franklin made Dillian White fight. Franklin didn't lay down. Then he came and got the AJ fight. He didn't lay down. He fought him. And since then, it hasn't been much from Franklin. But he got two good paydays, so he's changed his life. But I say that because I think Herndon has a good chance to win. But even if, let's say the fight goes 10 rounds, I think, and it goes to a decision, I think they're going to try to give it to Wilder anyway. But even if that happens, because Tyrell Herndon, in my opinion, he has a knockout Wilder. That's just how I see it. I just don't see them being somewhat competitive, especially if Wilder's just trying to let his hands go a little bit. Every round they kind of put forth the same amount of work. I think they're going to give Wilder the decision. I think that's what's going to happen. But all that means is Tyrell Herndon will come back to fight another day, probably against another big name. Okay, because now he's on the map. Like this is the grand stage. This is where you get up, you don't choke, you perform. even in defeat, you make sure you perform. I just got to be honest with you. Who's training Deontay Wilder? Now, I'm going to say this about Malik Scott, old freaky Maliki. I think Malik Scott has a magnificent boxing brain. I'm not going to lie. When that man talks boxing, you'd almost swear he was reading from a book. The man knows the fundamentals. He's textbook. But that doesn't mean he can get the best out of Deontay Wilder. So we sit here giving Malik Scott a hard time about him as a trainer. But let's look at the other guys he's working with. Malik Scott is out here developing other fighters that are doing okay. There's one cat over in the UK he's training who I think just won a fight and picked up a little championship. And then Zurdo Ramirez. Malik Scott did that. And he's got an abundance of other fighters he works with. But the one fighter who's the show pony over in his stable is Deontay Wilder. And that's the one where we're all paying attention to see how he's going to perform. And for some reason, Malik Scott just can't get Wilder to perform. All that wisdom that's being imparted to Wilder, it doesn't show up come fight night. So at this point, I'm going to make a shocking confession. And I'm going to admit to all the fans out there and the people who watch my channel that I've been blaming Malik Scott. And I'm going to tell you, I no longer blame him. Because there's a pattern here. Yeah, Wilder doesn't fight like the Wilder that was with Breland. And Malik Scott has to accept some culpability there. But at this point, I'm blaming Wilder. I believe Malik Scott's trying to show him, trying to tell him what to do. I believe it. I just think Wilder marches to the beat of his own drum. And it's Deontay Wilder's fault. When they go into the fight this weekend, if Wilder loses, not this weekend, June 27th, if Wilder loses, or even if he wins in a controversial fashion where they give him the decision where people say Herndon deserved to win, unless he just knocks Herndon out cold, right? No argument there. But even if he's struggling along the way before he gets the knockout, I think we're going to have to sit back and really say, you know what? Wilder probably needs to hang it up. Because we don't need to hear any excuses, man. Oh, well, y'all don't know I was tired, or I was having sex before the fight, or, I got a broken this, a broken back, a broken arm, personal stuff in my life, something with this, the business of boxing, the politics. We don't want to hear that shit no more. We don't want to hear it. Okay? Can't blame Malik Scott. Now, I see Wilder is out here. He's got a big old boxing gym and all this that he put together, man. Yo, congrats to him. He's the one that got in that ring. He's the one who got punched in the face. He's the one who got cheated in Tyson Fury the second and third fight, right? They jerked him. Tyson Fury cheated in those fights. We know he did. He had to hook up in the first fight too, the damn Kinahan and Secret Society, because Kinahan was over those fights. You can't make me believe Kinahan didn't influence the outcome. But the bottom line is, Wilder earned his money. He went in there and got the shit beat out of him and beat the shit out of people. He went in there and earned his money. So he can do what he wants. But when I look at that, y'all may think, oh, he's back. He's focused. He's got a gym in his backyard. I see silk pajamas. How y'all know he training? And I put it this way. How many of y'all used to lift a lot of weights? I'm 49. I don't really lift weights anymore because I'm hurt. Like I told you, my shoulder's messed up. Right? I'm 49. You see this shit right here? All that, you see that shit right there? I'm 49. There was a time. Okay? And even when I go to the gym now, let me tell you this. The nicer the gym, the less I want to work out. Some of the equipment is cool. I'm like, oh, let me get on that. But when I go into a dungeon, boxing, weights, I get busy because that's what I like. So for me, I need that. I like being grimy. I love that. When I watched Deontay Wilder, I'm like, it looked like in that boxing gym that he's got, it looked like he going there and he just more in love with himself, licking on himself. But he deserved it because he earned that. But I can see him more in there, spending more time admiring the facility. This is my hard work. This is the work that I put in to get this. Not coming in there and still wanting to get busy. No. The grind isn't there. The desire isn't there. I don't think it's there. I know some people are going to disagree with me. But I'm just telling you, for me, I'm looking at that and I'm seeing silk pajama. Y'all remember when Floyd Mayweather was getting ready to fight? Was it Pacquiao or Canelo? I can't remember which one, but Floyd Mayweather, all that money that man had, decided to chop wood. Decided to make a few changes. When you start seeing these fighters who are really 100% committed to the sport, they say, you know what? I need to get grimy here. I need to get dirty. I need to get back to my roots. I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be uncomfortable. And they put that work in, that's because they're locked in. With Wilder, I just don't think he is. And I think Herndon has a great chance here to shock the boxing world. I won't be shocked because, like I say, the best boxer doesn't win. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. And I think Herndon has a good chance. All he has to do is touch Wilder. If he can touch Wilder in the first round, Wilder gonna think twice about letting his hands go. You watch Wilder against Parker, he ain't letting his hands go. When he was fighting Helenius, he wasn't really letting his hands go. People keep tripping, man. People don't. When he fought Helenius, like, oh, he knocked him on the first round or off the back foot. Bulls, get out of here with that shit. He came out there looking to let them hands go, and Helenius countered him with a hook. Had Wilder going backwards. Then Wilder got up on his bicycle, started that Malik Scott ring around the rosy shit, and Helenius was stepping to him foolishly with his hands down, had Wilder on the ropes because Wilder was scared to throw. And Wilder just threw. It was more of a reactionary, it was an involuntary reflex is what it was. It's like, oh shit, boom. Now you may say, what are you talking about? Because I've never fought as a professional, but I've sparred. And I've been in a situation like that. I'll tell you this, and it was almost the exact same thing. Except I fought Southpaw. I had gotten in the ring with a guy, and first round, ding. The ref, it's Korean, it's English and shit wasn't really there. So I come out and I'm there, but mentally I'm kind of not there because I just kind of strolled into the middle of the fucking ring. And the guy rushed me and tackled me, like shoved me down, kind of tackled me. And I stumbled, but I was so agile that, you remember when like Floyd Mayweather got tangled with, I think it was Zab Judah, and Floyd stayed on his feet like a cat? It was kind of like that. Glove on the ground, I stayed on my feet. And the referee, some people in the crowd were going crazy like he knocked me down. The referee wiped my gloves off, and I was telling the referee, like, yo, he's effing shoved me. And my coach was like, hey, stay calm, stay calm. So now I'm locked in. All that noise I can hear is that I couldn't hear shit. I just saw this idiot in front of me. And he was doing this, banging his gloves together. I'm like, I'm about to kill this dude. So anyway, we come back on my toes, jab, pop, pop. I'm so damn fast, he can't do nothing. But then he starts to kind of come towards me, and I'm going back. And he's coming. And I heard my coach saying, watch out for those ropes. And I'm going, and I'm back in the corner, my corner. And the guy's coming at me. And I waited for him. I timed him. When he bounced, when he came up, his feet weren't set. And when he came, I just timed him through the left hand. I just threw it. I hit that motherfucker so hard, he spun around. He spun around and fell on the ground. The referee was like, 1, 2, and the guy got up, his eyes were big as hell. And then 20 seconds later, the fight was over. I knocked him out. I have that on a video, a VHS tape. My son ripped the tape. He pulled the tape out, so it's severed. But I need to take it because they got places who can reconnect it and put it in a digital form. I need to do that. If so, I will upload the video. But what I'm saying is, I'm watching, I'm seeing his face, I'm seeing his hands, but I'm knowing like, oh shit, I'm about to get in this corner. I got to throw something. But I had enough sense to watch him when he was coming up. And right when I saw that the knees bend and he was coming up, I threw. So when I threw, bam, I caught him. Spun his ass around. The crowd went crazy. And after that, I damn near killed the dude. The crowd went crazy. And I ran into that guy like 6 years later. We were in a club. And he was in there with glow sticks. Doing this shit. And he was like, dude, weren't you that guy who was in Korea? I'm like, yeah, I remember you look familiar. And I was trying to downplay because I didn't want to embarrass you. Like, yeah, you knocked the F out of me, dude. And I was like, yeah, cool. Anyway, I blew him off. But for Deontay Wilder, I gave you that because I kind of feel like that's what happened. But anyway, with him and Parker, he didn't let his hands go. With Zhang, he could tell he wanted to, but he was worried about getting hit because Zhang's very intimidating, man. It's a big human being, you know. He didn't really let his hands go. So although they may feel that Herndon can't hurt him, Herndon can't fight, he can't box, Torres beat him, I should beat him. Let me tell you, Torres would beat Wilder. This Wilder right now, Torres would beat Wilder. So don't get it twisted. Even if you're a Wilder fan, be fair. Torres would beat Wilder. It doesn't mean Herndon beats him. It doesn't mean Herndon beats Wilder. But what I'm saying is, Herndon has a damn good chance. He just got to touch him early. And Wilder's not going to let his, I'm telling you, Wilder's not going to let his hands go. For those of you saying, how you know that? How you know that? Because he hasn't been doing it. What makes y'all, let me ask you a question. What makes y'all think Wilder's training? You've always heard the man's never trained properly, never trained hard enough. Talk back, take shortcuts. What'd he say? I don't need to do all these things everybody else does. All I need is to be perfect for 1 second. They got to be perfect the whole fight. That's not the case no more, people. Y'all still buying into that bullshit that they're selling? It's not the case no more. Does he still have the equalizer? Yeah, but when's he going to use it? You going to wait and try to use it on Herndon? Wilder's got to set his feet. And if Wilder comes in there with confidence and looking to just stay long and look for the right hand, Wilder can end up getting knocked out. His chin ain't the same, people. And you can say, well, damn, Fury, look how big Fury is. Herndon's not that big. Parker's still a big guy, big Samoan, strong Samoan. Herndon ain't that big. Zhang is just an intimidating monster of a human. And Tyrell Herndon ain't that. So Hood, you can't just say Wilder don't have a chin. The more a person gets hit on the chin and gets knocked out, the least resistance they have in their chin. The punch resistance is affected, adversely affected. It starts to diminish. It starts to deteriorate. That's not me making that up. This is, y'all can go and read and see what they say about fighters and concussions and what happens when fighters get knocked out over and over. It affects your punch resistance. Anyway, Wilder versus Herndon could shock fans. But for me, can Herndon keep up the kind of work rate, and can he get beyond that 84-inch reach, 83-inch reach of Deontay Wilder to really make that fight competitive? I think he may be able to outbox Wilder, but he's going to have to make sure he can slip the Wilder jab, because Wilder's going to be waiting to throw the right hand. And look, Wilder has super fast hands. So although he's getting up there in age, Wilder has fast hands. You see it when he does let it go. He has fast hands, but he's been so afraid of letting his hands go and getting countered that he half commits to his shots. At the same time, I got to be real. When Wilder fought Fury, that was a bad matchup for Wilder because he was fighting somebody who was taller than him with longer arms than him. So he couldn't get out the way of Fury's shots. When he fought Parker, Parker was just explosive and fast. As a great boxer, a lot of experience, Parker was able to get there and land shots, although he didn't have the reach advantage on Wilder. Zhang, just as big as Wilder, reach as long as Wilder. So that was a horrible matchup for Wilder. So I've always said, for Wilder and also Anthony Joshua, when they fight guys who are about the same dimension as them, they don't do that well. Okay? Now, Herndon's not the same dimension as Wilder. Wilder's 6'6", 6'7", Herndon's 6'3". Wilder has an 83-inch reach. I think Herndon's like 79, something like that. Herndon just has to come in there and get beyond that jab, avoid going to walking into Wilder's right hand, and I think Herndon can win this fight. Wilder ain't throwing that left hook he's not putting no sauce in that left hook anymore. The power's not there. The leverage isn't there. His feet aren't set. He's off balance. Wilder looks crazy in fights now. He looks crazy. He's like he's on skates. He's just all over the place. I'm not saying that. Y'all know I like Wilder. I'm just telling you, you watching his fights too, right? You gotta be real about old Dentay, man. I like Dentay, but I gotta be real. Herndon avoids that right hand of Wilder. The jab gonna come. He may try to 1-2. He may try to do him like he did Ortiz and just be calm and just wait. Herndon can sit there and do like Torres did Herndon. Step out on the angle, turn him. If Herndon and his team are training that way where he can, look to throw that jab, that right hand, step to Wilder, turn him, avoid the big right hand, I think Herndon has a real good shot. I really do. Anyway, don't be shocked. I know y'all going to be, but I'm telling you, I will not be shocked if Wilder loses. And even if he wins, if he gets it off a decision and they end up saying that, hey, man, they robbed Herndon, I think Herndon's going to go on to another big opportunity. Lastly, before I go, makes you wonder, Wilder said there's already fights lined up for him. I don't like hearing that shit, okay? Because Ryan Garcia, I think Rolly was a cherry pick for Ryan. Even I said Rolly won't last one round because I thought Ryan was going to come out and look like the Ryan who fought Devin, the Ryan who fought Duarte, the Ryan who fought Fortuna. That Ryan who showed up, that ain't the Ryan. And that Rolly who showed up wasn't the Rolly who fought Pitbull Cruz and had his hands down and was trying to counter and catch and counter and do shit. That we know Rolly ain't no boxer. This Rolly was more calm, more poised, had a game plan, kept that damn right hand up. He was on the phone the whole time. When Ryan threw the left hook, Rolly, he threw the left hook. Rolly threw, I think, the right hand and the double left hook. Rolly threw a shot before he threw the left hook. So he caught it, jab, hook, either the jab, hook, or he caught it, right hand, double left hook. Rolly threw 3 punches that fast, just waiting for Ryan to throw that left hook. Like you could tell they trained on that and caught Ryan. Anyway, let's see what happens when Herndon and Wilder get in the ring. I'm excited for that fight. Win, lose, or draw, I'm excited for Herndon and for Wilder. Look, I kind of want to see him get back on top. You know what I'm saying? I like them both, but I'm rooting for Herndon. But if Wilder wins, great. He can go on, and maybe we get him to fight AJ or something like that. If Herndon wins, how about this? If Herndon wins, he beats Wilder. How about you give Herndon whatever fight they have lined up for Wilder next? I know they got something lined up for Wilder next. If he loses and Herndon wins, give it to Herndon, and give him that fight purse too. Whatever fight purse Deontay's gonna get, give it to Herndon. Anyway, keep cool. I'm in the breeze.